Okay, so this is a dissection of the female reproductive system this time. Let's do it similar to what we did with the male. So before with the male, we saw the artery coming down was the testicular artery. This is going to be the ovarian artery coming down to the ovary. So we can see the ovary right over here. This is the uterus, guys, right over here. So we're seeing the top of the uterus. This would actually be the fundus. If I kind of tilt it down a little bit, this would be the body. So the fundus, the body. The outer lining would be the perimetrium. I didn't put this in the notes, and you don't have to know it from me, but while it's here, I'll put it there. Extending from the front of the uterus, going forward this way here, and the red thing on the side over on this side. This is called the round ligament. It actually goes into the mons pubis, which is this area here, and then down to the labia majora. This was part of the umbilical cord at one time, but as an adult, we would call that the round ligament. Let me just put this back together a minute. Bear with me 1 second. A little magnet now. There we go. Okay. So this outer area here would be the mons pubis, right? It's mostly adipose tissue. You can see here the mons pubis, and then we can see a little bit here. This would be the labia majora from that view. All right, so uterus, mons pubis. Now I'm going to tilt it a little bit this way. This is going to be the ovary. So this I'm going to show you guys over here first. This is the ovary. I'm going to come around this way, and this is going to be the ovary over here. On top of the ovary are these finger-like projections of the fallopian tube. So these little finger-like projections, those are the fimbriae. This would be then the ampulla. Not the ampulla, the infundibulum. I was just testing you good. Fimbriae, this would be the infundibulum. Then where it curves right here, where fertilization takes place, that is the ampulla. Then as we get narrower to the uterus over here, this would be the isthmus, right? The isthmus. The yellow is going to be the ovary. And again, right next to the ovary, connecting to the uterus, that is the ovarian ligament. You don't have to know it from me, but just to show you that it's right next to the fallopian tube. And sometimes students do get confused, so I just want to make sure that you guys are not going to say that. That's the ovarian ligament, okay? So now, here's the pubic bone from this view right here. Again, this would be the rectum. This is actually the vaginal canal over here, and here's some bladder. So these are what they look like from the outside. So if we do a sagittal section and remove this now, we'll see the same types of things. This out front, can everybody see? This is the mons pubis. This is the pubic bone or the pubic symphysis. Right below it here, this kind of hook-shaped structure here, this is similar to the penis. This would be the clitoris. Below it, this is the labia minora. Down here below, bigger, is the labia majora. This is the bladder. You can see inside the rugae of the bladder. This is the detrusor muscle, which is the smooth muscle of the bladder. This would be the urethra right here in the female. Again, you can see, look how much shorter it is compared to the male urethra, hence the UTIs, that type of thing. That takes care of the bladder. Then posterior to the urethra, this would be the vaginal canal. So this would be the introitus, or the entrance to the vaginal canal. Here's the vaginal canal. You can see it has folds in it, so that would be rugae. Then this cup-like area here, this would be the fornix. Good. So back here, this is where the sperm is going to be deposited, right back here. And projecting into the vagina or the vaginal canal, this would be the uterus. So this part right here of the uterus is the cervix. This main part here is the body. And then this part up here is the fundus. Let's take a look at the parts of the uterus first. The cervix. This bottom opening here, I'm pointing to it, is the external os. This is the cervical canal. This is the internal os. This here would be the uterine cavity. Now the linings of the uterus. The innermost lining, it looks like it's kind of pinkish. Let me just see real quick. Pinkish and red. This would be the endometrium. That superficial part, probably the pink part, is the part that sloughs off. We actually call that the stratum functionalis. That's the part that every month will slough off. And the red part deep to it is the stratum basalis. It's the part that always stays there. But either way, this whole thing is the endometrium. The middle part, myometrium. And then the outer part, perimetrium. They're not here, but just so you know, on either side of the urethra, would be the paraurethral glands. And then on the side of the vaginal canal are the vestibular glands, or the vestibular or Bartholin's glands, right? Vestibular or Bartholin glands, they would be over here. Okay, again, it's just another picture of the ovary up over here. Again, the yellow is the ovary, fimbriae, infundibulum, ampulla, the isthmus over here. This would be the ovarian ligament, and again, the round ligament. We can just see it with all this other stuff off. It's that easy. All right, and again, the last thing, this would be the rectum over here. That's simple.